You must cease to seek for the Word of God only on the pages of olden records of theologic authority. Those who are born of the Spirit of God shall henceforth discern the Word of God, regardless of whence it appears to take origin. Divine truth must not be discounted because the avenue of its bestowal is apparently human. Many of your brethren have minds which accept the theory of God, while they spiritually fail to realize the presence of God. And that is just the reason why I have so often taught you that the kingdom of heaven can be best realized by acquiring the spiritual attitude of a sincere child. It is not the mental immaturity of the child that I commend to you, but rather the spiritual simplicity of such an easy believing and fully trusting little one. It is not so important that you should know about the fact of God as that you should increasingly grow in the ability to feel the presence of God. When you once begin to find God in your soul, presently you will begin to discover Him in other men's souls, and eventually in all creatures and creations of a mighty universe. But what chances does the Father have to appear as a God of supreme loyalties and divine ideals in the souls of men who give little or no time to the thoughtful contemplation of such eternal realities? While the mind is not the seat of the spiritual nature, it is indeed the gateway thereto. But do not make the mistake of trying to prove to other men that you have found God. You cannot consciously produce such valid proof, albeit there are two positive and powerful demonstrations of the fact that you are God-knowing, and they are the fruits of the Spirit of God showing forth in your daily routine life. Number two, the fact that your entire life plan furnishes positive proof that you have unreservedly risked everything you are and have on the adventure of survival after death in the pursuit of the hope of finding the God of eternity, whose presence you have foretasted in time. Now mistake not. My Father will ever respond to the faintest flicker of faith. He takes note of the physical and superstitious emotions of the primitive man. And with those honest but fearful souls whose faith is so weak that it amounts to little more than an intellectual conformity to a passive attitude assent to religions of authority, the Father is ever alert to honor and foster even all such feeble attempts to reach out for Him. But you, who have been called out of darkness into the light, are expected to believe with a whole heart. Your faith shall dominate the combined attitudes of body, mind, and spirit. You are my apostles, and to you religion shall not become a theologic shelter to which you may flee in fear of facing the rugged realities of spiritual progress and idealistic adventure, but rather shall your religion become the fact of real experience, which testifies that God has found you, idealized and ennobled and spiritualized you, and that you have enlisted in the eternal adventure of finding the God who was thus found and sonshipped you. And when Jesus had finished speaking, he beckoned to Andrew and pointed to the west towards Phoenicia, said, "Let us be on our way."